We got an inquiry here from one of our friends and patrons. And if you have any video requests or you want to talk about anything, just look up Instagram, Saeed Mobayed. I'd be happy to chat. So, let's get on with it. Hey Saeed, I'm in my second year of college and I've decided that I will drop out. Who? I've decided that I will drop out. I've grown more in tune with my intuition and following my heart, and I just know deep down that I have no desire continuing school. I feel ya. I gave my parents a call the other day, and I knew it would be met with shock and immediate mental rejection because they are still in the usual paradigm of materialism and lack. You know, the typical East Asian belief. Oh, I know, I'm in East Asia at the moment, or Southeast Asia, but similarities. You know, the typical East Asian belief of getting into the best schools and becoming some well known lawyer or doctor to bring honor to the family name. We have the same thing in the Middle East too, by the way. So it's in a lot of cultures, Indians too. I can feel that they do understand at an unconscious level, below all the programming and egoic perspective that has been built up and identified with, and they understand that I am speaking my truth and made it clear that I will honor my truth regardless. I was wondering how your relationship is your parents are to your parents is now ever since you went off on this journey of yours. Okay, a very very good question. I'm going to be with my family in 10 days, so a very good time for me to make this video to do my own reflections on the matter. As I will be there with them. I mean, it's I could leave any time, but I would like to stay for a little while. There is a saying from Ram Dass: if you think you're enlightened, try spending a week with your family. It's challenging. Of course, it's challenging, and part of me wants to spend at least a month there and test myself. Am I still peaceful? Am I being triggered here? Am I fighting with my parents? What's going on here? You know, I would like some feedback from the universe, and that's pretty good feedback. Because you know, if you're at peace, then you're peaceful. Like Rumi says, I'm at home wherever I am. So am I at home? Am I at peace? Am I being triggered? You know, what's going on here? So it's a very good time for me to reflect on this and maybe give you something in return as well. So I started off this journey of mine 2015. I graduated and I did the YouTube fitness thing, and I was doing it for a while, 3-4 years. First 6 months to a year of me graduating, my parents kind of didn't bother me too much because, you know, they're thinking, well, he's just graduated, let him get a break. Then begins the the comments and stuff like that. And I remember I was living in a different country, so it was via phone. I got in an alteration with my mom, and we fought and we didn't talk for a while. And for the next few years, it continued to be that way. You know, it continued to be that way for a while. And I think a couple of years ago, I didn't speak to my mom for like 4 or 5 months. And that wasn't good for me. You know, when I called her, she started crying. Because, you know, I haven't talked in 4 months, 5 months. It's maybe like 2 years ago or something like that. Now, I think because at the time, I was picking up random jobs, and I was like working in Tim Hortons, which is a coffee shop, and then Second Cup, which is just a little more upscale than Tim Hortons. They're both Canadians, Canadian coffee shops. And then I was just doing these random things like doing furniture moving, and it's like borrowing money from my friends. So I wasn't in a very good shape. And so because my parents saw that, they were worried. And so they would, from time to time, give me shit for it. But I feel that as soon as they saw that I'm okay, when I took, particularly when I started doing the Uber, after Uber, when I started teaching, that's when they seemed to relax on the whole thing completely, because they knew, and they see me traveling and Yeah, I mean, I haven't asked them for money in forever. I haven't asked my parents for money forever. So I think seeing that I'm okay, because they love you. Parents love you at the end of the day. So when they start to see that I'm okay, and they're like, "Oh, hold on, he's actually doing a legit job right now. He's teaching kids English. That's pretty legit. And wait, he's traveling the world. He's booking all these flights, and he's just like, he seems very comfortable financially now and everything. And they relax on the whole thing after. So I think once your parents see and they feel and they sense, because at some level, they sensed that I wasn't doing okay, and I wasn't. I was hopping from these shitty part-time jobs, right? Try working in a coffee shop, man. It's a disaster. It's so oh my god, I headache every time after a shift. I have big giant headache. You're just taking on so much energy. Everyone around you is sick. All the workers are constantly sick. Uh, and then you're dealing with customers all the time. I mean, it's not very pretty. Working customer service jobs like that is not something you want to do for too long. And I think at some unconscious level, they sense that I'm not stable. I'm not doing very well, and they didn't like it because they love you, they love me, the parents love you, and they didn't like it very much. And so they would from time to time give me shit for it. uh, and when they sensed that I was doing okay, I'm traveling, I'm booking flights, I mean, it's a stable job now. I've had it for a year, probably for many years to come. They see the flexibility of it. I can travel anytime. I'm going to see them now. I haven't asked them for money in many years at this point. But this time they sense that I'm coming from a place of stability. They relaxed on the whole thing. In that sense, they don't talk to me anymore about it. They seem very relaxed. They trust now that I'm on my own. In that sense, in the financial career sense. And I think that brought them a lot of relief. So they stopped giving me anything, and they started giving it to my brother, who's just dropped off college a year ago, less than a year, 6 months. And it was pretty bad when he dropped out. Pretty bad. There's a lot of drama. He's with them now. He's living with them. But now he's got something going on. He's got an investor, a big investor, and he's doing something, and he's seeing results. And he's telling me now. He's like, nobody says anything. No, not a. He said it's just like 2 months ago. My parents were making comments and things were getting rough. But now they see he's got a big investor behind him. He's got, he's starting to see success. And they sense the confidence, and they sense this project, and they sense that, okay, he's managed to get a big investor in his project. Lots of money behind him now. God bless. So now it's like he doesn't hear the comments anymore. So when your parents start to see, so in the initial phase, it's gonna be rough, man. It's just gonna be, because you don't even know what you're doing, and even if you do, you're probably not stable in it, right? It's not like you dropped out and you have a business that's generating you, $5,000 a month or something. Unless you haven't mentioned it, unless you already do, which if you do, I don't think it'd be a big problem. You'll see your parents will relax. But I'm just gonna assume that you don't have that right now. You may have a little job here and there, but it's the stability and the confidence in your career path and how you're making your money in the world is probably not there now, probably. And therefore, it's not going to be very pretty in the beginning right now, and maybe for some time, okay? But as soon as you begin to stabilize, your parents will sense it, and then they will have to get on with it at some point also. They will also want to live their life. So they will accept it. Some parents accept sooner than later. I think the acceptance phase with my brother took a lot less because it took a lot longer with me. So now my parents are probably in their head, and if my parents are watching this, I really love you, okay? Because my mom sometimes watches my videos. She actually watched the off-grid ones. So what I was saying is, probably when it came to my brother, they're like, this shit again. I mean, we did it with the older rascal, and I mean, it took us whatever to accept it, to finally let it be. I mean, are we gonna do this again with this guy too? All right. And so I think the acceptance phase for my brother and just sort of letting him be came a lot sooner. And my parents are very accommodating. Like, it's I mean, if I want to, I can go live with my parents for the rest of my life. They wouldn't mind it all that much. True, they really wouldn't. They really wouldn't. My mom wouldn't mind it. My dad maybe like at some point like aren't you supposed to get married and do your thing? But I think my mom would always like to have as much of her kids around her as possible. So my parents are very accommodating, and they very welcoming, and no matter what, they will support. No matter what, no matter what, they will support. I give them big props for that, and I think most parents are in the same way. That no matter what happens, at the end of the day, if you need this or that, you need a place to stay, you need some money, you need some support, they'll support you. Maybe not emotionally, you may have to go somewhere else for that, but you know what I mean. They'll still support you in certain ways, and when they see that you're doing well in the root chakra manners, security, survival, and stuff, they'll relax on it. Right? They'll relax on it a little bit. So again, the time period it takes is going to vary from situation to situation. And if you have somebody who paved the path for you, an older brother or sister, you're going to be in better shape. Okay? So now that's one aspect. But of course, there are other aspects. Like, well, me and my parents, we really, we share different beliefs about the world. We perceive reality in a different way. And my parents are not happy about it. I don't think they'll ever be happy about it. Period. 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 The religion, the religious beliefs, and all that. They'll never be happy about it. They never will. They never will. But I think we massively underestimate how much parents love us. And I've come to start to realize that. So especially with my mom, like my mom now, my mom watches my videos from time to time. And some of the shit that I say here, man, some of the opinions that I express, my mom watched the video where I was talking about being naked and buttholing and tanning, tanning your asshole, Now, and my parents are conservative, mind you. They're conservative. But like, I know for my mom at least, moms, they got the motherly nurture thing. They love you. And no matter what you do, no matter how much in disagreement you are, at least your mom will be there for you. She will love you no matter what. And so will your dad. So will your dad. But it's because of the masculine thing that's going on. There are more walls built around it. There are more walls built around it, especially in the conservative cultures, East Asian cultures, Middle Eastern cultures. There are more walls built around it. So the father figure does not express their love as much, and is maybe more insistent on having their children conform to their way of their perception of reality. You see? Nevertheless, we're living in such a unique time that the older generation is learning, actually, whether they want to or not, is learning to let the younger generation be. Why? Because the change is too big. Like, imagine you're swimming in the middle of the ocean and you have a big giant wave coming at you. Now what do you do? What do you do? Unless you're Moses and you're wearing short pants that have magical abilities and you could split the sea and avoid the wave, what do you do? Your best bet at that point is to surrender to the wave, not fight it, and hopefully try and swim with it and see it through. It's the same thing. the world, it's such a unique time. The change is tremendous. The power of the change is tremendous. It's like a big wave. The internet changed everything. Everything changed everything. The internet is a benevolent invention, by the way. It's been revealed to us here by benevolent forces. It's a force for positive and meant and is, despite it being used to crack down and everything. But I mean, look at it. They still can't do anything. You know, you can't really stop the change now, thanks to the internet. So now the change is like a big wave, and all these old paradigms are falling and failing. So the older generation is for the most part, at least, they try, but they're like, man, this is too big of a wave here. What are we gonna do? I mean, what are we gonna say? Well, you know, they may not like it, but it's like this. It's like, I remember this episode, Seinfeld episode, where Kramer is the mooching neighbor. He always walks into Jerry's apartment, takes whatever he wants, right from his fridge. You know, it's basically, you know, he's a moocher. And so he walks into his apartment one day, and he walks in a funny way, right? And opens up Jerry's fridge, looks at it, and there's all this healthy foods, because Jerry was starting to get a little fat and he wants to watch his weight. So there's all this healthy food, all these vegetables and stuff. So Kramer looks at it and he's like, what are you doing, buddy? And Jerry's like, no more of that unhealthy stuff. You know, I'm watching the house here. I'm gonna clean up. And Kramer's like, well, I may have to eat it, but I don't have to like it. Right? Because, you know, it's like he's the only thing there. Because you're a moocher. It's all, you know, you're just gonna eat whatever's in the fridge. He doesn't have to like it. Our parents don't have to like the way we are, but they'll eat it, in the sense that they have to. They have to. It's what else are you gonna do? The change is too big of a wave here. And so in that, they begin to accept. I feel my parents' acceptance to the situation grow year by year. And I think I feel it enough that I'm comfortable going, and not only comfortable, actually looking forward to going and staying with them, being with them for some time. I do miss them. They love you. They really love you. You know, their love is conditional, but there is a part of them that is unconditional. Very difficult to get to meet at that level, but it is possible. It is possible. And they love you. And so, again, if they see you doing well in the world in terms of root chakra, basic survival and security, they'll ease up on that. They'll be like, okay, he's doing well. All right, you know, maybe, yeah, all right, he's doing, I mean, look, he's, you know, he's doing well, he's traveling, he's this and that, seems happy, he seems, you know, so it's like, all right. Other things, of course, the ideological differences, that's a whole different beast. But I think they are learning to accept that their children are different from them, because they grew up in a time where the children largely followed the parents. So it was not very common for the children to do something different and adopt different beliefs. For the most part, like, my parents grew around other people in their age group who followed what their parents believed and followed the way their parents raised them. And so to them, it's a little bit getting out of hand. It's a little bit strange. I mean, they see it not just in their children, but in their friends' children. And they're like, whoa, like, this is not just happening to our kids, that they're adopting different beliefs and ideologies and perceptions and doing things differently, but this is also happening to our friends' children, because it's happening on a larger scale, again, because the force of change is way too big. So it's a process. You're gonna have to work with it, my friend. You're gonna have to work with it. You will come around, and so will your parents. You will come around. I think for 9 out of 10 times, the parents and the children do come around at some point. Okay? So, thank you to the Patrons for your support, for constantly supporting this channel. All the support goes towards the off-grid community, the off-grid project that we're relentlessly working on here. I love you guys. I love you, Mama, if you're watching this. Usually my mom that watches some of these videos. So hopefully you're not too upset, because I really love you. And what else? That's about it. And until next time, may the force be with you.